stop the recording, and it's just the host that can, so hopefully that is true. If you look down here on the white bar, you should find some attachments and some details. So under details, you'll see attendance and feedback. Attendance is because I want to know who's joining, and I also want to try to hopefully get you PD hours out of this. I don't know if I can, but that's the goal. And then feedback is for me because you know, we're going to have 2 weeks after I do all these webinars. So what can I do during those 2 weeks to help too? You know, I won't be running virtual reality training and things like that. So you know, where can I make my most impactful? You know, where can I make, you know what I'm trying to say. And then in the attachments, you're going to see webinar questions. This is just a live Google Sheet for everybody to edit. You just throw a question up there. If it doesn't get answered, we've got a lot of experts who are trying to answer those questions at all times. And then the next one is, as we kind of progress in this online learning, you're going to have to naturally extend yourself with some extensions, which are the little things that pop up in your Chrome browser. So maybe some apps, which would, if you're using a Chromebook, would pop up down here, and then some websites as well. So I'm just trying to give you all the links. So if I go to something and you're wondering, how did he get there? That's what's that. I probably won't be able to moderate the chat that well, but there's only 50 people, which is easier than the 180 that were on yesterday. So I will try to go from my slideshow, but I may also jump back into that Google Meet. All right. If you have a question, feel free to type it in the chat or just unmute your mic and just interrupt me. It's really, I think a lot of you will realize when you start to do this, like online, if you haven't made videos, I didn't make a lot of these videos. I always just screencasted things to kids for like 2 minutes, and then that was it. When I was a math teacher last year, and you realize that it's hard to not play off an audience. Teaching is a lot of a, you know, kind of give and take. So just interrupt me if you have a question and I'm not responding. All right. So we will get started here. I'm going to do a pretty deep dive into Screencastify and all of its goodies. And then I'll show you 2 other ones as well. If you, for whatever reason, don't like Screencastify or you just dare to be different, I understand that as well. But Screencastify is going to be my go-to for screencasting, and maybe some other tips just to help you get the most out of the video. All right. So, and then we'll try to dive a little bit into YouTube. I have notes written down, so I want to make sure I get to all of it, but it shouldn't be too bad for us. All right, so the first thing is Screencastify. So I'm going to pull up this doc that I have that has all the extensions and apps and everything for all of my webinars. And the way that this document works is I've created some bookmarks here. Okay, and so if you click on like delivering content using online whiteboards and you click on the bookmark, it will take you down to that section. Pretty cool, right? All you do is super easy to do. This isn't really related to what I'm talking about, but it's cool anyways. You just hit insert bookmark wherever you want one, and it'll put this little guy in, right? It's great. That's all you have to do. And then when you want to link something to that bookmark, so I linked this title to the bookmark, right? All you have to do is you just make it like you're making any other link. You can highlight it, and then you can do Control K or 2-finger click and hit link, and it will ask you what you want to link it to, and you can just link it to a bookmark. So right here is bookmarks, and I want to link it to this bookmark right here. Boom, done. Super easy. So if you have like you can do like a menu board, you know, where you have a bunch of options, and then each page takes you to the next menu. It's kind of cool. And bookmarks are a really easy way to do that. So we're doing Screencasting Tools. So I'm going to click on that. And the first one is Screencastify. So you definitely need this Screencastify extension. It should be turned on for students, but I was told maybe it's not completely. So I think I fixed that. So students can use this as well. And I'll share with you why I think that's super powerful in terms of online learning. But make sure you have this. If you don't, it should just take you out and you should just be able to add the extension. And then another really important thing before we get rolling into the details is The free version is actually pretty cool to me, but a lot of people hate that it's only 5-minute videos, so a little bit limiting. But right now, because of the pandemic, anybody can upgrade to premium by just clicking on this link. It will act like you're going to buy the subscription, and then you just type in the code. And I think it's only good for like a month, but I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there that since they're upgrading it to premium for everybody, if we're out for longer, I'm not making any claims, but if we are out for longer, then I'm sure they're going to honor that. But you can, in the free version, you can record an unlimited amount of screen recordings at 5 minutes each. So you can technically do as many as you want. All right, so there's the thing. And then once you get the extension, it's just going to pop up right here, their little logo. Okay, and then let's just jump into it. So if you've used this before, I apologize. The beginning of this might be a little bit repetitive for you, or some of it is stuff I've touched in other webinars. I apologize, but I just want to make sure I cover my bases. So the first thing you're going to do when you click on this is it's going to give you 3 different options for where you want to record. Do you want to record your browser tab, your desktop, or your webcam? If you're going to be doing asynchronous type teaching in any way, a read aloud, or you're just going over a problem, maybe you have a whiteboard in your background and you're just going to be writing on your whiteboard, right? Or if you have something on the screen and you want to be sharing that and also talking to your kids, this tool will do all of that, right? You really don't need anything else. Like Screencastify could really take care of all of your needs. I recommend not using browser tab, and the reason I recommend not using that is because if I jump off of my browser tab into something else, or I go somewhere else, my students aren't going to see that. Now, the advantage to using browser tab is they'll only see like what's inside of the tab, and they won't see all the menus and everything on the outside. But I typically go with desktop, because then if I jump to something else and then jump back, my students will see that and I don't have to worry about it. And then webcam only would be if you were just recording something in your background, then they would just see whatever's on the webcam, right? So you could teach and you could do whatever you want, right? You could read a story, or you could perform a skit or sing a song. I don't know. I wouldn't do any of that. I was a math teacher, but some people are super creative, right? You want to make sure the microphone and the camera are chosen for whatever device you're on, but hopefully you have a school-issued Chromebook that you can use, and the audio and the camera on those work just fine. Okay, so I would choose desktop because I want to record. Let's say I want to record what's behind. Okay, and I'm gonna turn off the microphone on this because I don't want weird echo, because I'm already recording. But normally you would have that on. Okay, under show more options, you're going to see a countdown. A countdown is how much time before your video starts. So if you need a lot of time to get ready, you can change that. Drawing tools, you want to have those on. They're really cool. Those are an unlimited feature, so if you haven't upgraded, you won't see those. And then system audio would be if you had something like YouTube playing in the background. Maybe you needed some like play-in music, like I do for my Google Meets, right? If you just had that on in a background tab, your system audio, it would play with your annotations, your voice, right? So if I wanted some little music in the background, right, you could turn on system audio, and then I can also see a preview of my webcam if I click that on. I'm not sure why I'm not seeing that. Okay, so I'm going to just hit record here just so you can see the whole. I want to show you the whole process of getting the video and making sure everybody understands where that video is hosted, what you can do with that bit. I want everybody to see all of that. Okay, so I'm just going to hit record here. It's going to ask me to pick my screen. If you're one of those people that has 100 screens, you have to pick the one, right? I only have one screen, so it's not that exciting. And then it's going to count down for me. And now I'm going, right? And I know it's going because if I go and look at the extension right here, it's got a little red circle now, which means I'm recording. And I can control it from right here in this toolbar. I can hide this toolbar if it's in my way, or I can go up to the extension, and I can also have the basic controls of stop, pause, restart, or trash. Trash means what you would think, it's gone and you start over. Restart means all the settings that you just set up are still the same. Maybe you flubbed right at the beginning, right? You froze. You were like, oh my gosh, it's recording. I didn't know it was going to do that. So you hit restart. Pause just pauses what I'm doing, but then I can pick back up. So like, let's say I did like a minute and I really liked it, and I paused because then I was like, okay, I need to gather my thoughts, and then I do my next minute, right? And then stop will just stop the recording and send you to the next spot, the next tab, which will be where your recording is going to be posted. All right. So I'm not going to click on any of those yet because I'm going to show you some of the tools. So if you highlight over the tools down here, you'll have a mouse pointer and a pen. Those are pretty much the most helpful tools. The mouse pointer, I always leave the highlight clicks on because if I'm clicking on something, I want kids to see it. Then there'll be this circle and it'll be easy for them to find. Okay. The hide cursor when not moved, if you're going to just be talking for a long time and that cursor is distracting the people, you can hide it, but it takes longer than I would expect for it to kind of hide. So I don't know if I love that one. And then the other one is focus mouse. It kind of darkens the whole screen, and then wherever your mouse is, it focuses on it. And then you can also have that little highlight. So if you're working with students where you know it's going to be hard for them to focus because there's so much going on the screen, it's a really great tool to kind of just highlight what you want to see. It would be hard if you want them to look at the entire screen, right? Because it's really focusing you on a small piece, but you can use it sparingly. And then the pen is so cool. I love it. It's an unlimited feature, and you can highlight things that people want to see. If you have something with a stylus, well, I had a stylus at one point. Man, I'm struggling today. You could write on your. I'm trying to show you. I'm using my touch screen right now. Okay, so if you don't have a touch screen, I understand, right? I can still do what I need to do without a touch screen, right? Now, it would be hard to like solve a math problem with that, but maybe you have a whiteboard or something you could hold up. So that's the pen. The cool thing about the pen, which I didn't realize, is if you go to some other tab, it's gone. It kind of like stays on that tab. And then if I move around, you see how when I put that on my touch screen, the pen on my touch screen, it didn't go with it, but most times the annotation will kind of stay with, which is pretty amazing. I mean, that's a hard tech thing, so it's pretty cool. And then if you screwed up your annotation, you could erase it, right? So I could do that. Okay, cool. And then the last thing that I got advice from some other people, which I thought was really helpful, is if you need the whole screen, then hide your webcam, use the whole screen, but don't show kids a bunch of videos without your face at all. Okay, so at some point bring your face back, and if you're just talking to them and not using the screen, come over here, make this bigger, right? And then bring yourself right in, to the top middle maybe. And then you can be like, hey, it's me. This is great. We're having a lot of fun, right? You can see my office. Cool. So that's just another little thing, a little tip that when you start making videos, if you're going to make a lot of them, might help just make it more relatable to kids. If it's just you down here going, and this is how you solve 4x plus 3 equals 12. That's how I normally talk. So I really have to like animate myself and make myself look more excited than I really am, right? So just some few tips. I'm going to pause this, and it's going to give me those same things that I talked about up here. And now I'm going to see that on my icon, it's also paused, right? So I'm not recording this anymore. And I'm really happy with that. I think that was probably the best 4 minutes and 11 seconds I've ever screencasted. So I'm going to go ahead and hit stop. And what's going to happen here is it's going to pop open a new tab. And it stopped sharing my screen on Google Meet, so I'm going to have to go back and present again. Hey, David. And I'm already 26 messages behind in the chat. Way to go, me. I talked for 4 minutes. How do you show yourself in the first place? Oh, okay, I'll go back to those tools. So the way I showed myself in the first place is if I embed my webcam. That was it. And then I would make sure my microphone's turned on. The reason why I didn't turn it on is because I was nervous that there would be some weird echo because I'm already recording with another software, right? But normally I wouldn't be doing that, okay? So I would just turn that on, turn both of those settings on, and then use the desktop. how did I maximize the thumbnail? There's just a little pull corner in the top left corner. You just pull, drag and click and drag it out, and that's how you maximize the thumbnail. Sorry, I'm trying to answer some questions in the chat. Okay, so this is what happens. You get this screen from the Screencastify website, all right? And this is just the view of your video. You can watch it back. It will have this thing that automatically will mute the audio for you. It'll just be a little button in the left-hand side. So if you want to listen to it back, you just need to click on that, okay? And then, sorry, I'm really distracted right now. I'm doing a horrible job of being a webinar host. And then if you have, let's say at the very beginning of your video, you screwed up, but you just kept going. You just pushed through because you knew there was this little clip option. So if I want to, I can just clip out like the first 10 seconds. An easy way to kind of help yourself with that, a little trick would be to do something in the screen and then wait like a second and then start again. So like if you screwed up and you're like, oh, dang it, maybe like clap on the screen so you can see it in the video and then wait 1 second and then start again. So then it's really easy for you to cut that. Like you'll be able to cut it. But if you screw up and then you immediately start back in, it's really hard to cut that video perfectly. So people will hear you say like, oh, and then it will be a weird start. Okay, so if you screw up, it's okay. You can actually trim this video using Screencastify. All right, so I'm going to cancel that because this video is perfect. Before I go to the editor, which is only available in premium, which you all can get with that code. Yes, with the editor, Sarah, we'll get there in just a second. The easiest thing that you can do is to copy the shareable link. All right, so if you're really worried about hosting video with kids, you can copy the shareable link, just post it wherever you're going to post things, right? Maybe you post it in, I gotta stop that. That's horrible to watch myself. Maybe I post it in Google Classroom, or maybe I just send them, my students, an email with the link. One thing to note is videos are large files by nature and they take time to process. So although I can view it right now, if I hit that copy shareable link and send it out immediately, like I wanted to record and then want y'all to watch it immediately, the processing time is longer than that. I'm not sure the exact processing time for each length of video, but you have to wait a little bit of time before they'll be able to just click on that link in Drive and watch it. Okay, so let me show you what I mean.
Hey, Jason.
Yeah, who is it?
It's Angela.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, right now the processing time is a couple hours to like, I'd say 5 to 6 hours. I made 6 videos yesterday. The 2 in the morning were super quick. I shared them no problem. And then the other 4, it wasn't until the evening until people could actually watch them fluidly, but they could download them and watch them, which worked.
And we can also get into if that's becoming an issue, because I'm sure Screencastify is way busier than they've ever been. We can take those videos off of Screencastify up to YouTube, and they process way faster on YouTube because YouTube's used to handling that kind of traffic. All right, so let me just show you what I mean by that. If I take this video, right here, see it says, we're processing this video, please check back later, and there's an option to download, and that's really frustrating, right? And then you're like, do I need to have more things? Did I screw something up here, right? But let me show you a video that I've already had recorded and has already processed, what that looks like in Google Drive, just so you know that it works and you don't have to do anything other than just share the link. Okay, so if I go, Screencastify will create a folder for you in your Google Drive, all right? And mine has a little sharing guide because I've enabled sharing because I want to share links to people, right? So if I go into Screencastify, this will be all my recordings that I have done using Screencastify. And let's just go down to one that I've, so this is from October 3rd, a long time ago, right? And it doesn't take months to process, but just so you can see what it looks like. This is what you see when you get that shareable link and you actually open it. This is what you should see, and you can just click on the video and play it right through Google Drive. Okay, so there's no need for another player or anything like that. With that Drive link, it plays right out of Google Drive, which is super nice. Just be aware that the processing takes a little bit of time.
Jason, I have a question.
Yeah, we'll go for it.
This is Amanda Fox. So if because I was on the Google Meets webinar that you did yesterday, if we record on Google Meet instead of doing it on Screencastify, is there still the same amount of like download time or processing time?
I'm running into that right now. So that's why, well, partially because my car was broken this morning, but also the processing time for these Google Meets videos is not as fast as I would like right now. So yeah, I'm running into that.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. So just kind of clarify, that's just part of if you're uncomfortable with using YouTube, and I totally get it. Like, I'm not going to try to push you to do anything you're uncomfortable doing. If you're uncomfortable with that, you just have to be aware of that processing time right now. It might improve. I never noticed that with Screencastify before, but I don't think there was the entire nation trying to use it, right? So that's that. So you can also just get right here. It's really nice. They have a view on Drive link. So if you can't find that folder for whatever reason in your Drive, you can view it on your Drive right there. Okay. And then I like all these things as well. Share to classroom. So it will allow you to just pick your classroom, and it will prompt you to go through a few tasks if you use Google Classroom or planning on using Google Classroom. So that's really nice. And then publish to YouTube. So if you're having trouble with processing, YouTube videos are processing super fast. I just uploaded all 3 of my webinars from yesterday. They're like 45 minutes each, and they process within 10 minutes for sure. So, and they were long, right? 45 minutes is way longer than 4 minutes. So I was a math teacher, so I'm good at that. So yeah, and then if you're a tech savvy person and you're really having a hard time, you can always download that and share that file. But that's more work, right? That's more work. Okay, but that is an option as well. Usually you can export audio, but my video doesn't have audio, so that would be hard to do. It would not be an exciting file. All right, so I'm going to jump into this editor real quick because I think for the most part, very few of us have probably seen this because it's a premium feature. So it's probably new to a lot of us. It's really cool. So it's going to take the video that I have and just pop it in. This might take a minute, but once it starts up, I'm going to have just a few options on how I can edit this video. All right. So I still have the same clipping tool from the beginning and the end, but now I have this little bar. You guys see that at the bottom there on my video of all my little screen grabs. Okay, so if I know like right here, I screwed up. Okay, all I'm gonna do is click, and if I want to play it, I can play it, and then I can stop it right where I screwed up. Right? Oh no, I screwed up there. Okay, and I want to get rid of that. I just hit the cut button, and it's gonna put it into 2 separate segments. Okay, all it did right now is just cut it into 2 segments. It didn't actually change the video at all. Right, it's still going to play continuously through for 4 minutes and 11 seconds. The only difference is it's 2 separate pieces right now. All right, so I'm going to find the beginning where I screwed up, and then I'm going to find the end, and I'm going to put that line. Let's say it was right here. Yeah, that part is bad too, and I'm going to make another cut. Okay, again, I still haven't actually taken any parts out of this video. All I've done is cut it into 3 pieces, and now I can take out the piece that I don't like. So the piece I don't like is the piece in the middle. I'm going to make sure it's highlighted in blue. Hopefully you can see that, and the other videos aren't. And then I'm just going to hit delete. And now that's gone, and you'll notice it switched from 4 minutes and 11 seconds to 3 minutes and 43 seconds, right? Okay, do you have to do that? No. I mean, just run your video, just hit it. Not going to have a part the first time, right? But some of us, that simple editing tool is really helpful. The crop feature right here, let's say I don't want my kids seeing all the extra stuff, right? I'm really bothered by that. Then I can now go in here and I can just crop the video so they can only see what I want them to see, right? Maybe that also helps you give a more professional finished look, right? This looks more finished because you're not seeing all the extra stuff on the edges if you care about that. It's really easy to do. And then the text feature, I haven't really figured this one out yet, so that's what I'll use. Figure this one out yet. Okay, all I know about it is you can change the font and the color and the background just like you would with any text, right? So I actually do like other colors other than black and gray, but it's really just like lime green. That's it. So I'm a pretty boring guy. And I think I can move this around, but I haven't really figured out how. Has anybody played with this at all? And then you can like move it here. You can put it in the top or the bottom, and that's it. And you can see down here, I've got this little text guy, but it just like hangs out there. I don't really get it. So if you have great ideas for the text, I would love to hear them. I'm new to the premium features too, so it just seems like kind of a silly thing unless there's more that I'm missing. So does this have closed captioning? Screencastify does not have closed captioning, but if you would upload it to YouTube, you could use the closed captioning features. And then the best thing to do with this edited version is to save it to your Google Drive. Okay, so if I save that, and then it's going to ask me to rename it, so I can name it whatever I'd like. All right. I can also add in more. So this is like a pretty nice video editor if you're going to put a couple clips together or things like that. I also, maybe you were on the webinar where I talked about, I had a 7.5 hour recording because I forgot to end the recording in Google Meet, which is really helpful for all of us to know now. I just popped that video into this editor. I didn't record it in Screencastify, but I can add that in here. And then I just cut out the end and I saved it. It was super easy with using Screencastify's editor. All right, so if I wanted to do that, I could just hit new project. I don't care about this project because it's just, you know, just showing you whatever. All right, and then I can hit the blue button to add a clip, and I just added it from my drive. I just went and found that 7-hour recording, and then I cut out all the extra. It was really easy to do. So easy a caveman could do it, right? So I'm gonna jump back to my recordings now. Oh wait, no, I'm gonna jump back. I'm sorry. I'm gonna jump back to this video details tab. Okay, so this is what pops up when you're done with your screencast, and I think we've kind of covered the whole view that you would see here. Okay. From this site or from what you just saw, you can always get to all of your recordings if you want to, right? Right here, my recordings. Another way to get to the recordings would be to just click on the extension up here. Oh my gosh, it's already 1:30. I'm doing horrible. And click on my recordings. It'll pop open the tab. And then you'll be able to see all the ones that you've made in case you wanted to edit them or do anything. You can click on those and edit them right out of here too. All right, so delete all. Don't do that. That would be bad. So that's kind of the deep dive into Screencastify. A lot of people have been asking me about like how do I make my slides look the way I do and things like that. And I have a really cool tip for you. And maybe you already know it, maybe you don't. So what I had been presenting with, you were seeing on the left-hand side of my slides, you were always seeing all my slides, right? And now today, magically, you're not seeing that, right? So I want to show you how I did that. So from any, let's just go to old slides from yesterday. Okay, so from any Google app, so like Slides, Sheets, Docs, those are the main three I guess we'd probably be using. You have this big long code in the middle, like 40 numbers, letters, all that stuff. And then you have a backslash, and then you have edit, almost in all of them, right? So after that backslash, you're going to take all that stuff and you're going to erase it. This is crazy. And then you're going to type in the word preview. Okay? If I just hit enter here, it's going to take this exact thing and it's going to get rid of all the extra stuff and it's just going to show me the slides in a preview window. There it is. That's cool. I'm not actually presenting it, right? Because when you present, it gets rid of all of these, it gets rid of the bars at the top too. It makes it really hard to use. And if you go full screen, it hides the bars and it makes it hard to use too. So if you wanted to go full screen, you could do that, right? You could go over here and hit full screen, but that sometimes is limiting. This seems to be the best view. Another cool thing with Google Slides is there's a little laser pointer here. Okay, and then there's also closed captioning on Google Slides. But why can't I find them? I promise there is, though. I don't know. Oh, there we go. So there's closed captions on Google Slides. So if you had kids that you wanted to talk to about whatever and you wanted them to see what you were talking about, you could use that. So the Slides closed captioning is actually really, really, really great. Okay. And then the other one, if you take this same exact thing, I'll just show you this real quick as well. And you just want to send them a link, but you want to force everybody to make their own copy. If you just put copy there, you maybe have seen this before and you're like, how did they do that? And you hit enter. It's going to give them this prompt that forces them to make a copy. Not relevant for screencasting, but I thought I'd share it anyways. So preview is the one that you would probably use if you're going to go with Google Slides. I don't want to see myself. Okay, cool. Any questions on any of that before I jump over to something new? Copy thing again, sure. Okay, so from any, just go to a slideshow, whatever you have already ready. All right, and then you're gonna look up here at the top, you're gonna go to that URL and you're gonna, after the very end of this big long letters and numbers, that's the unique ID for this slideshow. If I just found that, then I know that that's for this slideshow in particular. Right after that, there's a backslash, and it's going to usually say edit. It might say stuff after that. It doesn't really matter. You're just looking for the word edit. You're going to erase everything after it. All right. And then there's two words that are really helpful. The one to make it look like what I'm doing today is preview. That's going to show you something like this. And then the other one to force a copy to everybody is copy. I like the copy one if I'm trying to give something to people and I don't want it, I'm not giving it in Google Classroom for whatever reason. Maybe I'm giving it to adults, and if I make it a view only, then they ask for a copy, and then, but if I just give them this, then they have to make a copy to even see what it is. So it's a really nice trick. Closed caption in Sheets and Docs. No, the closed captioning, Kyle, only works in Slides. I'm sorry. If I really wanted closed caption on my videos, I'd put them in YouTube. Yeah, that would be the best bet. All right. I've already kind of talked about a couple tips. I went and watched a couple more webinars about creating effective videos. I just want to share what other people have said. There's these three. I'm going to go back to my slides, actually. Oh, man, I forgot to show you this. I got so excited. That's what I look like when I run. Okay, so there's 3 video tips I want to share with you: signaling, segmenting, and weeding. They sound really official when I say them like that, but signaling is just showing people what to focus on. So using those Screencastify tools would be really helpful in this case, right? You can highlight words you want them to see, or you can use the pen tool and kind of show them where you're looking at and where you want them to look at. So it's a little bit overwhelming to try to learn from somebody probably like me, because I'm not signaling that well, but that's a good tip. Segmenting, try to keep one learning objective per video. Again, I'm doing a horrible job at modeling this, but I'm hoping that I can knock out a bunch of questions with adults by using webinars. But normally, if I was doing this with students, I would hit them with like a 5-minute video about editing. I would hit them with a 5-minute video about the actual screencasting tools, a 5-minute video about using Google with it, a 5-minute, and I would segment it out like that. It's much more consumable for kids than a 50-minute video, which I know I'm doing a horrible job modeling. I apologize. Right, and then weeding, eliminate unnecessary stuff. So you can use that editing tool to eliminate if you feel like it's not really pertinent. If you go off on a tangent and you're like, ooh, I don't really need to include that in my recording at all, just weed all that stuff out and make the information very purposeful in what you're doing. All right, especially because you're just recording, you're not having a conversation with people, so that's different, right? You want to get straight to the point, get in and get out as quickly as you can. Cool. A couple ideas just for like why you would use screencasting besides just delivering content. One really cool thing I saw was if you would open somebody, let's say that this was somebody's work, all right, and I was trying to comment on the work, I could just comment on it, just putting comments over here, right? Like I could highlight something and hit comment and just comment on their work like I normally would. But why not just hit Screencastify and record yourself actually talking through the comments that you're writing? Normally I would say, wow, that seems impossible with 100 students or whatever, and it still would be a lot of work, right? But it seems a lot more doable now that we're going to online learning to personalize something like that. Again, I would say any personal touch you can give students where they hear your voice, they see your face, and you're talking through something with them is a lot more meaningful than just seeing text on a page. Or on a screen, I should say. And then the other one would be to create a screencast of just you talking, and then just give them that link in a comment, right? So maybe I wanted to comment on here, and then I could just give them this link in my comment, right? And they could click on that, and they could hear me just talking about it and what I thought or what my feedback was for them. All right, so just a couple ways to give a little bit different use of screencasting than maybe you thought. And then the last one is have students use it, right? I couldn't imagine trying to collect a bunch of math work right now, so bless you. But I would absolutely try to capture their thoughts. Maybe I post like an error analysis type problem, and I just say, hey, record yourself talking through the errors and how you would fix this problem for somebody else. I don't need you to actually do any work. I just want to see your thought process behind this, right? So just another way where you can get information from students, and then they can give you those videos and you can watch that. Might be more enjoyable. So a few tips. All right, I'm going to run through my other two tools really quickly. So Screencast-O-Matic, some people really like this one. Usually it's like people who have a PC or a Mac, like not a Chromebook. There's an app that you can download for a Chromebook though. So where apps show up in a Chromebook would be in this little guy. So there's my Screencast-O-Matic app. It works almost the same as Screencastify. It actually has a 15-minute limit because it's only the free version. But if you don't like Screencastify for whatever reason, check that one out. I'll just show you it real briefly, but I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on it. So it's going to ask me what to share. It's going to ask me if I want to share my audio. It's going to ask me the time. Okay, so this was like the OG screen recorder, and then Screencastify came out. So just another option for you. I'm just going to close these out. All right. Let me share my screen one more time with you. And then the other one that I've actually liked this one a lot recently. I've been trying to use it a little bit more. It's called Loom. They're trying to come onto the screencasting scene. So there's the extension. If you want to add it, it's really, really, really similar to Screencastify. You click on the extension. It asks you if you want to do screen and cam, screen only, cam only, right? The difference with Loom is you get this, they call it the bubble, right? It's pretty cool. I actually think it's really cool. So you can use the bubble. You can make it pretty big and put it right in the middle of the screen. So using that tip I was sharing earlier would be really helpful with Loom. And then let me just show you real quick what Loom looks like on the website side. All right, so when you're done recording, it does the same thing as Screencastify. It takes you to their little page, right? And right now it says 4 out of 25 videos, which isn't actually accurate. If you would click on this Learn More if you want to, go to loom.com. They are upgrading teachers to their pro subscription forever. Basically, in response to the pandemic, they have decided that teachers should have this tool for free. There should be a pro version of it available for them at all times. So pretty awesome stuff, right? So if I click on one of these videos, you can put in emojis with it. You can just share it straight from their website. So if you just want to share the link, they can just come in and watch it right from this website. One feature that isn't available with the other ones is you can add a password. So for whatever reason, that video there was some kind of information, you didn't want everybody to be able to find it or view it, they needed a password, you could do that. And then they also have some basic editing settings as well. All right, you can share this, you can download it, you can add it to your drive. All the same, it's just a little bit different. Okay, but you get the little circle bubble instead of the rectangle if you like that. That's really the main reason why people like it. All right. Yeah, publish to YouTube. Let's do that. Okay, so let's publish to YouTube, and then I think that'll be good. So once I have all that done, right, I set up my whatever I wanted to present on. I presented. I stopped my recording. I got it all cut the way I like it. And now let's say I want to upload to YouTube. Well, the easiest way, the easiest way would be, sorry about this, I wasn't really thinking, would be to just publish to YouTube right here. So let's just walk through those steps so I can show you what that looks like. All right, so assuming you're recording in your school account and all of that, you publish to YouTube. Okay, and it's going to ask me for my channel. If you've never created a channel, YouTube typically prompts you to just create a channel. All that is asking you to do is that's just where you're going to host your videos. So if you've never created a channel before, it's not like invasive or anything. It's just so you can host videos on YouTube. All right, so there we go. I would set my settings. I usually set it to public if I'm putting it on YouTube because I want people to go to my channel and then find whatever I'm looking for. But you can also set it as unlisted on YouTube, and then you have to share the link with them, and then they can view it. Technically, anybody could have it as long as they have the link, but it won't just be available out on YouTube. I'm going to set it to public, and I'm going to type in a description. I'm going to be super detailed in my descriptions now that I'm going to online learning. So be super detailed here. I'm going to click upload, and that's it. That's all it takes, right? And I don't know how long this processing time takes. Currently, probably longer than we'd like. Oh, nope, there it is, done. Cool, so if I go to YouTube, right there, see video still being processed. So let me just show you from the YouTube side where all that shows up. All right, but that's the whole process. That's it. And then you can share this link with them if you want. You can copy the link from Screencast. It's all the same, right? Where it says copy link, that's going to be the YouTube link. So it's all the same. Real quick, just YouTube overview. Quick aside, I have a brisket in my fridge that I'm so excited to smoke. And so that's why that video has showed up, because I'm trying to get tips on smoking a great brisket this weekend. I have earned it. I cannot wait. Ooh. Okay, so couple things real quick. If you want to just share your channel out to people, the easiest way to get to your channel is probably to click on your little icon and then click on your channel. And then you can just share this link. I failed on that this morning because I didn't hit copy and paste, but that's my channel link, right? So that's really easy to get to. I have way more subscribers than I ever thought I'd have. So I can thank the coronavirus for that, I guess. If I want to just upload a video straight to my channel, this little camera is really helpful. I can just upload video. All right, and then it's going to take me into the studio, and I can just pick a file from my drive. So let's say I recorded something like a week ago, and then I was like, actually, I think I want that on YouTube now, and I didn't want to go through Screencastify. I can just go in here, and I can find my Screencastify folder, I can pick whatever video I want. So let's say I was doing this video. And this is the part I was talking about went really fast for me. And then I'm going to be offered the same type of things, right? A title, a description. YouTube will pick a thumbnail for you, which is the picture you see before you see the preview video. But once this video uploads, you'll have a couple different pictures to choose from. So I'm 24 seconds away from that. And then this audience part in YouTube, if you're teaching kids who are COPAs for 13 and under, or under 13, I would absolutely hit yes, it's made for kids, right? If you don't feel like it's appropriate for kids under 13, hit no. But then an age restriction, you're not really restricting your video. You're just saying, I didn't make this video with like 8-year-olds in mind, right? So I always hit no because all my videos would have been made for kids who are older. But then I don't restrict it because it's not like objectionable content or whatever. So, and then you can walk through these screens. You don't have to do anything with video elements. That's like if you're trying to monetize or like promote your own videos or promote content, which I don't think any of us are going to try to do here. And then here's the same thing. You've got your settings: public, unlisted, private. You can schedule it out if you'd like. I just always public. I just put it as public and I just hit save and then it processes, right? Now that it has processed, you can see these little thumbnails. I can choose which one to be my preview, or I can make my own if I would like. And that's it. That's all I've got, I think. You don't have to wait for one to be uploaded until you upload the next. If you just click through these screens and hit save. Oh, I'm actually going to make this one private because I'm going to just delete it right away. Once you're done with that, you can hit create and you can upload another video. I uploaded a 44-minute video, a 52-minute video, and a 45-minute video all in a row today, and it worked great. No problems. They were uploaded and they were processed and viewable within 15 minutes. So all 3 of them. So that's the way to go if you need it to be fast, right? Oh, Alex, does Loom have closed captioning? I don't know the answer to that. I'm sorry. I should know the answer to that. My closed captioning tips are really just Google Slides and YouTube. If you really want closed captioning, Google has done an amazing job with their closed captioning tools, and YouTube's owned by Google, so it blows me away. And then also on Google Meet, right? You can turn on closed captions. So if you have that on, you can turn on closed captions there too, which is cool. Enjoy the brisket. Oh my gosh. Maybe I should post a video of me just smoke. I'm going to be up at like 4 a.m. getting ready to smoke this brisket. I cannot wait. Holy cow, it's going to be so good. Oh my gosh. Look at this. People know all about it. This is hilarious. Kelly, I don't know if it's easier to just record on YouTube. You can use like YouTube Live. I'm not a huge fan of YouTube Live. I just don't love the like setup of it. I just think it's harder. So I mean, that's just my personal opinion. Like, it works just fine. So if I was just recording a webcam, actually, if I was just recording at all, I would try to do it as a Screencastify before I did anything else. And if I felt like that was falling short, I would maybe go somewhere else. That's just if I was trying to do like an asynchronous, not just a video that I was posting later that people could view at their own leisure. Screencastify is just my favorite. But there's a lot of places you could do it. Yeah, keep it simple for yourself. Don't try to use all 10 tools, right? And then get all confused. That would be horrible. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. I'll make sure this one gets uploaded so you can, tell your friends that we talked about brisket or whatever. So I'll stay on for a couple more minutes, but if you're still on and you hit that feedback link and just fill it out real quick, even if it's just the numbers of if it was helpful or not, I really don't care well, I do care if it's not helpful, but I just want to know the truth, actually. So if it's not helpful, please tell me so we can fix it, right? And I can make it better in the future. Thanks, y'all.